So Albert and Anita, the reason I go public with what's going on is because of lack of accountability. You never take responsibility for the wrong that you do. And then when I'm reporting it to you, you use that as reason to not help. You see? And this is a common method to say, are you calling me a thief? If someone is doing wrong and you express the concern to them, and then they use that and say, oh, you're accusing me, you're blaming me, or you're playing victim, and not address that valid concern that you have. And you've used this, and Anita has used this repeatedly. So amongst the many methods. And the stonewalling method you're using. So I'm asking for payment of the Spectrum bill for the phone that mom is using. And then, so look, I have to go public with this in short. And then here in the text from yesterday, I'm going to go through all of the methods that you and Anita have been using publicly. I want the world to know about it. Because of all in the world who suffer, all the vulnerable who are subjected to these methods and exploited. I voice for all the vulnerable in the world who are exploited using these methods. And I've lived through them and I've documented them. I want the world to know about them. All of our text records, I want it made public. All of the 911 calls from this address. All of the body cam videos, all of the dash cam recordings, all of the incident reports of this address, of the other address that mom owns. Every 911 report about me, concerning me, and then also all of Justine's. And it requires an attorney to subpoena these. I've made the request already, the FOIA request, and we're waiting on it. I want an attorney. And I'm calling out to the public. I'm asking for an attorney to subpoena all 911 information pertaining to 2 addresses that my mom owns and the police. It shows the corruption in the police that they have been refusing to acknowledge. They're refusing to reveal the move-out order that was a judge granted my mom. Judge dismissed the case against my mom that the Devonshire police had filed 7 years ago for false 911 call. Why? The judge said he will dismiss the case if mom moves out. The reason they're hiding that is because they don't want mom to move out. Why? Because they're not taking the reports of the crimes against me, the false 911 calls that Anita was behind. The one at Peter's house and the domestic abuse, the spousal battery. There was a provoked, intentional, malicious, false 911 call. They refused to take the report for that, and Sergeant Lafferty, Sergeant Ritchie over there at Devonshire refuses to take the report for the false 911 the wellness check that Neda filed on the instructions of Anita. They made it a wellness check. They were told Peter wasn't there when he was. So they entered without a warrant, in Officer Johnson repeatedly coming towards the camera, doing things to provoke my arrest, which was what the cops have been doing with the repeated 911 calls, false 911 calls at both these properties. The squatter's intention was to take over the house for her gang to sell fentanyl in this neighborhood. And the police were helping her. And that's why it's been difficult for me, because police at both police stations have refused to take the reports of violations against me. And so that's why they don't want her moving, because they want to continue this scamming operation that Justine Taylor started October 2020. We evicted her 22 months after she moved in. But Anita and Sam, her dad, and Albert have exploited this condition of the police department supporting the abuses against me by the squatter, and they're supporting you. And the neighbor Alan, you helped perpetuate the biases against me that were used in exploiting me. And those are the ones Sam started. Sam, Albert, Anita, repeating those statements about you should see a psychiatrist, you should be on meds. And I kept sending videos of my sessions which show I wasn't being prescribed medication. My reasoning is accurate. I make sense, and I challenge anyone to point out anything I say that isn't reasoned well, or isn't accurate, or isn't factual. I am a responsible person. I take care of people. My intentions are to help all in the world who are exploited in this manner. And the stigmas that you've used, the biases, you're exploiting them. You're exploiting them to destroy my credibility, which is with unfair methods. I'm highly sexualized. I make sexual jokes because of what mom has been putting me through. Okay, so we're Munchausen by proxy family, and those attributes that I have are being exploited. Scammers exploit the vulnerable, people who are stigmatized, so people who no one cares about them. They don't mind the attacks on them, so that's why scammers pick them as targets. Right? They're easy to exploit because it's hard for them to get a lawyer. You withholding funds from me. You told me in the beginning, Albert, you don't want to help me with lawyers or with the website and my YouTube channel because I'm reporting corruption. You had access back then as you do now to all funds. Mom wrote the trust to protect me, to protect us. We're the only two surviving members of this 5-person family. My dad passed, my brother died, my sister died. It's mom and I. And you have no authority over her savings and her property. Neither does Anita, because both mom and I have expressed to you we don't want you. You don't have my best interest. You don't have mom's best interest. Both you and Anita, you've demonstrated it throughout. And your attempts to destroy her credibility show your maliciousness. They destroy your credibility. You shouldn't be allowed to go on prospering by hurting people. Neither should Justine Taylor, neither should the two police departments, the Devonshire and the West Valley Police Station. I'm Zeke Matavosi.